Canelo, there's a lot of articles and social media floating around saying that you could potentially be negotiating with Terence Crawford directly for a May fight. Any truth to that?
No, I'm working in other things. Now I'm enjoying my family. I'm not talking about boxing yet. So maybe in January we're gonna start doing that.
Where do things stand with Turkey? Turkey said he would like to open a line of communication with you. No middlemen, just you and him.
I never say no to business. So if it is a business for me, I'm open to talk, no matter what.
Anything else for Chula Vista?
No, thank you everybody from Chula Vista. Thank you for your support.
The likelihood of a fight with you and Terence Crawford, it would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We're not talking about yet about the fight. Me and Turkalaj know each other, and then we wanna see what happens.
And when do you want to get out next? I know you're here in London tonight. When are you going to be in a camp? When are you going to be in a camp? I know you're
in camp, training camp in March.
Okay, so
at the beginning of the middle of the February or March. Yeah.
In a big moment for boxing, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have officially agreed to fight in a super middleweight match. The fight is set for September 2025 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. This news has excited boxing fans everywhere, as it features two of the sport's top fighters.
What's up, fight fans? Some breaking news. This guy, Julius Julianis, who's an ESPN Knockouts reporter, is reporting that the fight isn't only about to be announced, but the contracts are signed between none other than Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford. In Julianis' report, he claims that this fight has been signed, sealed, delivered, and it's going down this September in Las Vegas. We know Canelo was in London for the Ring Magazine Awards with Turki Al-Sheikh, seemingly shaking hands as business partners. And just today, as a few hours ago, Bud Crawford landed in London and was seen with Turki Al-Sheikh this September. It's official. What are your thoughts? This headline is all the details the Ring Magazine put out about 2 hours ago. Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford, the fight is up. Guys, are they just messing with us for real? Because this is 48 hours removed from them reporting the location. First ever stadium fight, Allegiant Stadium. Even though the fight was 7 months away in September, this in everybody's eyes was going on. And then all of a sudden, the Ring Magazine, Turki Al-Sheikh, releases this with no other details. Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford in September is off.
The agreement for this big fight was made in January 2025, setting up a historic showdown. Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed super middleweight champion, has an impressive record of 62 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, with 39 knockouts. His opponent, Terence "Bud" Crawford, is undefeated with 41 wins and 31 knockouts and is the current undisputed welterweight champion. This fight marks Crawford's move up to the super middleweight division as he looks to make history by taking on Alvarez.
All right, let's talk Canelo Crawford, Jake Paul again. Let's try and give a timeline of events. So on Tuesday, Ring Magazine confirmed that Canelo Crawford was on for September 13th, Raiders Stadium. That's what we got on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we started hearing whispers of Jake Paul. It sounded crazy at the time. I did a video on it. I said that's impossible. But then those whispers became louder and louder and louder. On Thursday, Ring Magazine reported that Canelo Crawford was off. Thursday evening, so just after me and G-Man had filmed, we got reports that Jake Paul versus Canelo versus Jake Paul was very much a real thing and was close to being signed off, and that would have happened on Netflix. About 2 hours later, we got confirmation that Canelo versus Jake Paul is now not a thing and is off, and that Canelo has signed a 4-fight deal with Riyadh Season, and Turkey went on social media talking about he's the lion and don't mess with the lion and things like that, which I thought was quite funny. Canelo versus Crawford is now back on, and that will happen in September. Canelo versus Jake Paul is now off and won't happen for at least another couple of years. Yeah, I think that's where
Recently, Jake Paul criticized Canelo Alvarez for signing a 4-fight deal with Riyadh Season, which led to their scheduled fight being cancelled. Paul accused Alvarez of avoiding tough opponents like Terence Crawford due to public pressure. He claimed that Alvarez is now a slave to Riyadh's season, suggesting that financial incentives influenced his decision to skip more competitive matchups.
Oh, Canelo, you puta.
This fucking YouTuber. I just fight real fighters.
Time to expose him. So we had a signed contract to fight. Here you can see Canelo's signature and my signature to the right. Claiming he's not fighting YouTubers. Bullshit. Look at the poster. We were announcing Tuesday, February 11th. Claiming he fights real fighters, but he's fighting Crawford, a 135-pound fighter, and running from a real fighter like David Benavidez, you bitch. The truth is you can be bought. You're a money-hungry squirrel chasing your next nut. The truth is these sports-washing shady characters are paying you hundreds of millions of dollars to stop our fight from happening because they couldn't fathom the fact that they can't create a bigger fight than me and you. Al Heyman has made you hundreds of millions of dollars and you turned your back on him for this check. Disloyal. And you were begging to do this fight on pay-per-view. But I have loyalty. Loyalty to Netflix, doing the biggest numbers. And you call me a YouTuber, but you've never had a boxing match as big as mine. Remember you told my team that your daughter came home and asked if you were fighting Jake Paul? She was all excited. You said that was the first time your daughter's ever asked you about a fight. And you're screwing over all your Mexican fans by doing your fights in Saudi. It just shows what type of person you are. And I promise you one thing, Canelo. Any fight that you do this year, mine will be bigger. So go fuck off to your boss, you Ring Magazine employee. You pink and orange bitch. And oh, fix that herpes on your lip, you dirty puta.
At a recent live press conference, Canelo Alvarez sent a strong message to Terence Crawford, asserting his dominance in the super middleweight division. He said, "This is my territory. Crawford is a great fighter, but stepping into my division is a different challenge. I'm ready to show why I'm the champion here." Alvarez's confidence highlights his determination to defend his titles against a tough opponent moving up in weight.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement. If you're Terence Crawford in that fight, the last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.
Canelo Alvarez, known for his power and tactical versatility, is considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. On the other hand, Terence Crawford, a four-division world champion, brings speed, precision, and adaptability to the ring. This clash of styles and skills has fans excited, as it promises to be one of the biggest boxing events of the year.
When Terence Crawford said that he moved up and won, and Canelo moved up and lost,
they talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I don't think that was a strong point because Canelo Alvarez actually moved up and won. I mean, he moved up a lot of weight classes, but if you want to talk about light heavyweight, he moved up and he beat him. Then he moved up again and he lost to the devil. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, he moved up to 154. He won 115, 113, but it was just an 11-0 matchup. He didn't really have much of a resume, right? But there's a difference, to be real. I mean, Bivol is a Hall of Famer. Okay, this guy, all-time light heavyweight. It's a bit different. Canelo did knock out Kovalev when he did move up. And Kovalev is a bigger challenge at light heavyweight than Madrimov at 154 for Terence Crawford. Let's just keep it a bit.
Canelo Alvarez is a dominant force in the super middleweight division, with a professional record of 62 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. He has shown his ability to succeed in higher weight classes, using his power, agility, and experience to challenge any opponent. Former champion Sean Porter has raised concerns about how Terence Crawford will handle Canelo's punching power, given his reputation for delivering devastating blows. Porter questions whether Crawford can withstand such force, especially with the jump in weight classes. This concern reflects a broader uncertainty about Crawford's ability to handle the physical demands of facing a naturally bigger opponent.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam. But, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo had, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another. You know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out. You know what I mean? So,
former 4-division world champion Mikey Garcia shared his thoughts on the upcoming super middleweight fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Garcia believes that Alvarez's size and power will be key factors in the matchup. He explained that while Crawford has exceptional skills, the significant size difference could be a challenge. Garcia pointed out that Alvarez has been competing at 168 pounds, whereas Crawford recently moved up to 154 pounds and faced some difficulties.
I'm not even a fan of that fight. There are too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, maybe 166 max if he accepts. I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size of power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford has accomplished everything he had to accomplish from 140, 147, now 154. That's even great for him. He wants to do something, collect belts at 154, he can attempt that. But there's no money in that compared to the Canelo fight. And Canelo is trying to fight other guys, and at that point it's more of a big fight for the money that's gonna generate. But as a fight fan, I'm not really a fan of that matchmaking. I'd rather see Canelo move up and fight somebody like Bitterbeef or Revolt again. If he wanted to challenge himself, move up to 175 again and challenge himself against those guys. Not a smaller guy moving up.
Joel Diaz expressed confidence in Canelo Alvarez's ability to take on Terence Crawford. While acknowledging Crawford's status as the pound-for-pound best, Diaz highlighted Canelo's unique skill set and readiness for the fight.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I respect that. I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. You saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford went from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez would take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
When you say, I want Canelo, is there anybody in the camp that would say, you're not ready for this?
That's a big boy. He's strong. That's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you will whoop his ass.
Yes, man. Type stuff.
I'm not worried about Canelo. I'm not thinking about Canelo. I'm just focused on Israel Magno.
In a small way, is this a stepping stone to your dream fight?
I don't look at fights as stepping stones. It's about now.
Former world champion Demetrius Andrade believes that while Terence Crawford is an exceptional fighter, Canelo Alvarez's size and experience at higher weight classes give him the advantage. Andrade predicts that Crawford may struggle with Canelo's power and agility. Crawford faces a major challenge as he moves up 2 weight classes to fight Alvarez. In his last bout, he competed at 154 pounds, earning a hard-fought decision win over Israel Madrimov. While he showed skill and adaptability at that weight, jumping to 168 pounds presents a whole new test. At super middleweight, Crawford will face opponents who are not only heavier but also naturally stronger and more accustomed to fighting at that size.
Be great. That'll be 3 times. If you go 154 and win the belt, that's 3 times super. Then I said, chase super greatness. Come on, Canelo. 160.
Well, if he can get in there with Charlo in like his next 2 fights, he's still got age on his side and maybe will be like if he's trying to chase the greatness. But I mean, he already done something that's never been done. Charlo don't want to do that.
Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight. He's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better. No, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. He's a good fighter, but like I say, he's weight classes for a reason. I'm focused 100% on Berlanga, and you never know what happened.
Yeah.
Unlike his previous fights, where his speed, precision, and technical skill gave him the edge, facing a physically dominant fighter like Canelo Alvarez could limit some of Terence Crawford's usual advantages. Canelo's power, durability, and experience in the division make the challenge even tougher, forcing Crawford to adjust both his strategy and conditioning. Moving up to super middleweight to fight Canelo is a significant leap. The main challenges include adapting to the increased power and physicality of opponents in the higher weight class. While Crawford's technique and skill are exceptional, questions remain about whether his power and durability will hold up against one of boxing's most formidable champions.
Just a few weeks ago, you heard what Terence Crawford had to say on why he wants to take on solo Canelo Alvarez.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just like to fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that I can get behind. If you notice, his primary reason is money. He did say it'd be the biggest fight, which you do want a big fight, but I don't think he meant monetarily, which the money comes, okay? But what he's saying is he want to test himself versus the best. And I think he's telling the truth here, right? Of course you want big money and stuff like that, but I think his swan song is just him testing himself up against the very best. Those are the reasons the more we can get.
Robert Garcia has weighed in on the upcoming fight, predicting a Canelo Alvarez victory. While he hasn't provided a detailed breakdown, his opinion aligns with the majority favoring Canelo. Garcia believes that if Terence Crawford takes the fight, it will be largely due to the massive payday it offers. According to him, Crawford has already secured his legacy and financial future, so he doesn't necessarily need to keep fighting. However, if the bout happens, Garcia expects Crawford to be highly competitive in the early rounds, likely holding his own for the first 6 to 8 rounds. He acknowledges Crawford's exceptional skill, ring IQ, and strength, which could help him win the early exchanges.
Robert, what's a smart bet at Crawford-Canelo? Canelo by knockout or Canelo by decision?
Crawford by decision. If you have to bet,
yes.
I say Canelo by decision. Crawford by decision. No, but you say Canelo by knockout or Canelo?
Yeah, no, because I'm saying that's what's going to happen. Canelo's going to beat him. But which one?
Exactly. I've always been saying, I think Canelo at the end, obviously his strength, his weight,
experience
probably takes over. But I wouldn't be surprised if Crawford just fucking boxes and fights smart and beats him.
He's probably gonna be 40 to 1 underdog or something crazy like that, right? It's not gonna be close.
It's gonna be close.
3 weight cuts?
3, 4 to 1. Okay,
Nah.
it's not gonna be that big of a dick. No.
When you pick the knockout? No, when you pick the knockout?
But if it's just
who wins straight out?
I think it's gonna be maybe 3 to 1, 4 to 1. Maybe that's too much. Maybe 2 to 1. Maybe
I don't think so. So they finally announced Ryu's fight
Gary Russell. What do you think? Not easy fight? No easy fights in this level? It's going to be, finally you guys will be, first time you're ever going to a Tank fight, right? Towards the corner?
We're going to a Tank fight.
It's Tank's the main event.
The Alvarez versus Crawford fight is set to be a historic event in boxing. Alvarez's experience and power in the super middleweight division will be tested against Crawford's agility, technical skill, and undefeated record. Fans and analysts are eager to see how Crawford adapts to the higher weight class and how Alvarez handles an opponent of Crawford's caliber.
He's going to be the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Floyd, it was Floyd. And then it's going to be Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what's on the line with that fight, right? Canelo and Terence is whose era is it? Yeah, right?
Nah. I think Canelo had his time. Yeah, Canelo had his time. Yeah. Let's go some in our time. Yeah, for sure.
What makes Bomac such a great trainer?
He can adapt to any style, bro. Like, he can adapt to any style. First of all, DB3, we all got different styles. And he all will make us better in our own style. He got Troy Hodge, and Troy Hodge is a different style. You know what I'm saying? Shit, he got Avius Griffin. Avius Griffin is a different style. Of course, he got Jamel Herring and Terence Crawford. All different styles. And he make these fighters great. He can adapt to any style. You know what I'm saying?
It's a fascinating matchup. Canelo's size, power, and experience at 168 pounds could wear Crawford down in the later rounds, especially if the weight difference affects Crawford's durability. However, Crawford's skill, ring IQ, and adaptability shouldn't be underestimated. If he can use his speed and movement effectively, he might outbox Canelo over 12 rounds. What do you think? Will Canelo's power be too much, or can Crawford's strategy lead him to victory? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.